Did you know? Parasyte was almost a production of Studio Ghibli. Toshio Suzuki, longtime producer for Studio Ghibli, had said on the Tokyo FN podcast that both he and Ghibli co-founder Hayao Miyazaki wanted to adapt Hitoshi Iwaki's Parasyte manga at Ghibli. Interestingly enough, the one roadblock to this happening was the fact that the adaptation rights for Parasyte at the time were held by the US film production company New Line Cinema. Planned as early as 1999, the live-action CGI Hollywood adaptation was to be helmed by Don Murphy's Angry Films, with Matt Manfredi and Phil Hay writing, while being produced by Jim Henson Pictures. While the live-action film would ultimately end up going into development hell and Ghibli would move on to other projects, Suzuki commented that Miyazaki was very much a fan of the manga and that the themes of Parasyte fell in line with Ghibli's own sensibilities. Ultimately, New Line Cinema's rights to Parasyte ended in 2013, prompting both Toho's 2 live-action movies and Madhouse's Parasyte the Maxim in 2014. A number of different things across the Parasyte franchise have been changed for one reason or another. Because it was produced in 2014, the anime was updated to appeal to a more contemporary viewer. Things like the internet and cell phones obviously play a very different role from the Parasyte that was originally set in the 1980s. In an interview in 2005, Iwaki was asked if current events in society or the world at large influenced his work. Iwaki stated that they do sometimes, but I don't think it appears in a very recognizable form in my work. Some things in Parasyte, however, were not altered simply because of the times. Parasyte, one of the first manga to be published in Mixed Scene, later rebranded Tokyo Pop Magazine, was a product of many early companies' attempts at publishing manga in the US, insofar as names were changed to better localize the characters, and the traditional right-to-left reading was flipped so that it read left to right. Shinichi was shortened to Shin, so Tomi Murano became Sarah, and Tamura is known as Tamra Rockford. Migi, whose name in Japanese means right, had his name changed to Lefty so as not to create a continuity error due to the flipped page format. Funnily enough, in the 5th volume of Parasyte, Iwaki was asked by an 18-year-old reader named Midari if, hypothetically, Migi had taken Shinichi's left hand, he would have been called Hidari, which is Japanese for left or lefty. Iwaki said that it would have indeed been Hidari had that been the case, but felt that the name was too similar to actors like Hidari Bokuzen, who bring to mind a doddering old man, so that wouldn't have been a good idea. Did you know that Terminator 2 was inspired by Parasyte? Well, at least according to Takashi Yamazaki, director of the live-action Parasyte movies. Back in those days, a rumor had spread through film industry circles that James Cameron was aware of the manga and had bought its film adaptation rights in order to make Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yamazaki continued, "It was something like an urban legend. Even so, the T-1000, the Terminator with a liquid metal body in T2, did seem to move as if it was inspired by Parasyte. I think it must have been an influence." With regards to its own influences, Parasyte is a unique work that also taps into universal fears of losing control of one's own body. In this way, Parasyte bears similarity to other classic sci-fi works, particularly author Robert Silverberg's award-winning short story Passengers. Written in 1968 and set in the 1980s, Passengers depicts humanity's struggle against unseen, body-hijacking aliens whose only objective is to cause havoc by playing with their hosts' bodies who are being ridden, while also allegorically commenting on the sexual revolution of the period. As for Parasyte's own setting of sci-fi and sex, it all culminated in one single scene. When Migi turns his shape into a penis in front of Satomi Murano, Iwaki believed that the scene would work best in a high school setting, so Iwaki ultimately gave Parasyte a high school setting. In terms of other manga, Iwaki stated in the aforementioned 2005 interview that his own preferences included everything from Phoenix by Osamu Tezuka and Domu by Katsuhiro Otomo to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by Hirohiko Araki and Berserk by Kentaro Miura. But when outright asked about his influences, particularly the macabre manner in which characters' heads and hands morph, Iwaki simply stated, "I feel like I got it from playing with clay as a child." Thanks for watching Weird Did You Know Anime, the anime trivia resource. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all the latest facts and trivia. If you like music from anime, video games, and more, be sure to check out my channel where I sing covers of songs from tons of different fandoms. If you like, be sure to subscribe for more. I'm Liz, and I'll see you around.